Okay. Right. Welcome, everybody. I hope you can all hear me.
I can hear you now, Mark.
Okay. Welcome, Kevin. I'll kick off. Hopefully you can see my screen share. Can you see my screen share?
Yep, got it. Yeah.
Good. Good. Okay. Well, first of all, welcome. Thanks for joining us this evening. For anybody that's not joined us before, this is just a quick briefing on what you'll see from us. Sorry, I've just gone one ahead. A little bit about Luxury in the Sun. This presentation is going to be about Esentepe Cliff, a new development in North Cyprus with some great investment potential, good buying opportunities in payment plans currently, and also the additional services, what we can offer to enable you to come and take a look at the current developments and activity. If you have any questions, obviously there's a chat area, but also feel free to jump in, or there'll be a question and answer session at the end. So, Luxury in the Sun, who are we? Basically, there's a team of us across Norway, which you can see Eric and Heidi, Robert, Tonya and Emil. We have UK, which we have Paul and Karen, and we also have Laura, who actually works with it, sitting with me here, works with us in the TRNC. In Spain, we have Sarah and Jan. Dubai, we have Marwan and Yulia in Ukraine. So we have quite a good mix of people covering quite a different area. But why are we different? We don't operate out of big offices or marked cars or anything. We like to get to know you and spend a few days. Not just one-off viewings. We like to shortlist a selection of properties with you to enable you to get the best of your visit when you're here, and also some of the sunshine and obviously the tourist areas. We also insist using a lawyer if you decide to purchase, and we offer a free 1-hour consultation during your visit. We also collaborate, having been on the island for more than 15 years, we collaborate with all the quality developers and also agents to give us the best property for your benefit. We also mix that in socially in North Cyprus, so you know what the local areas have to offer. And more importantly, we stay with you through the whole process, even for years after, whether you choose to upgrade or make some difference and changes to your pool or your villa, then we'll assist you with that also. For anybody that didn't join us last week's projects, if anybody wants to receive the presentation of the details from last week, if you just put your email in the chat room, I'll send them to you after, but just a quick screen on each. Maldives homes in North Cyprus, nearly 2 phases complete. A very different development for North Cyprus, obviously based upon the Maldives itself, and also very different in terms of its design and quality structure. New to the market, which will start end of this year or January next year, Mykonos, which is based upon Santorini and Kokotago Hotel, something slightly different. Very close to the sea, but with swimming pools and jacuzzi available in each apartment. From investment purposes, there was studios starting from 39,000, close to the sea. All of these are studio penthouses and garden apartments. Very close to a new marina that will be joining us shortly on the North Cyprus coast, so obviously a great location for rental. And lastly, last week was a deal, which is a mid-range price point, very close to Esentepe Beach, and a few of the amenities, but in a very rural area. And those are 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. So that was last week's presentation. So if anybody requires that, please drop me an email and we'll send the presentation to you. So, on to tonight's presentation. This is Esentepe Cliff. Actually, Laura's been there today and seen that there is some very good activity in terms of the build. So it's well under process, and they estimate 24 to 28 months for the full completion, but it is quite a large project. But as long as the weather's kind, which it normally is here, then with sales, they will probably finish ahead of time. But this gives you an idea of where the location on the north coast is in Cyprus, and the distances from the airport. In general, Larnaca being hour to an hour and 20 minutes, Erjan 30 to 40 minutes, and Paphos 2.5 hours is probably the furthest one away. So from a north coast perspective, it's very centrally located. to gain access to Famagusta and Kyrenia areas and back into Nicosia. So this is the 3Ds of the development. It's a hotel style with everything in your amenity reach. There is 5 different render styles of apartments, including 1+1, 2+1, 3+1, and semi-detached 3+1 villas. But obviously you are right in the middle of everything that you could require without having the need of a hire car unless you wish to go searching elsewhere and exploring. So what do you get with your facilities? Well, as you would expect in a hotel, you get everything from your gym, children's play area, tennis court, bicycle, restaurants, supermarkets, all the things you can see in the list there. But more importantly, you're a very small distance away from the beaches. And although you're high up looking down over it, there is an elevator that takes you down to the beach location, all of which will be a completely new development. So within the area that you will have your apartment, obviously you'll have everything within walking distance. For rentals in a hotel style, obviously there will be a good income return should you wish to do rentals. So this is just a few pictures of what the design will look like, obviously based around the pools. Floor to ceiling windows to give you the best views of the Mediterranean and obviously the maximum light because of the 300 days sunshine a year. All of the pool areas will have cabanas and enough sunbeds for all people from all the apartments. But obviously throughout the season, probably 8 to 10 months of the year, it will be a good in terms of occupation. Maybe not this year with the current issues, but obviously hopefully next year things will get more to normal. Now the area is based around a very popular village called Esentepe. This is just an overview. It's a very Turkish style village, but with everything in terms of the amenities that you may require, from ATM to health and hospital, police station, all the things that a village would hold. Very close to where you would be from a strenuous walk, but not a long one. It's mainly because it's up on the hill, but obviously from a car perspective, 5 to 10 minutes away from supermarkets, etc. Restaurant in the corner down at the right side, Stone Castle Restaurant, is a short distance away, but there are a number of bars and restaurants in the village. One of them being Tumba, which has a stunning view across the Med from up at the top of the village, and also a number of historic castles and monasteries, etc., which you can explore, and also an international golf course, which is a short distance away from the top of Esentepe Cliff. So this gives you an idea of the location versus the sea. You can see Esentepe Cliff under the top arrow there, which actually sits very close. So it's almost like an infinity where you'll be looking out across the sea with the elevator down to the beach area. 2.5 kilometers to the center of the village, either by path or by car. So you can see from the pictures along the bottom, it's very close to the north coast, which gives you access to east and west. So this is the overall view, giving you it's 85,000 square meters, the actual development. It will be very modern, very high quality materials. The constructor is actually a winning developer and has done many different developments in North Cyprus, but this has been the first one that they are achieving along the northern coast. They've generally been on the eastern side, which I'll show you a couple of examples of shortly. But generally designed to be a peaceful location with sea and mountain views from a 360 view that you will have from this area. But you'll also have, as you'll see from the site plan there, everything centered around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swimming pools and all your other amenities. So from the top looking down, this will be the beach area. Currently this is very slightly under development. They've started with the infinity pool. But there will be a long walk and cycle path all the way along the beach area and bars and restaurants to be able to visit as you go. This will be below the development, but on the beach side. But in real terms, as a crow flies, probably 50 meters from the development, but obviously you will not go down the cliffside, you'll go by the path or the elevator. So walking, bicycling, cafes, beach bar is all very close. Just a slightly bigger view of the site plan, which gives you the styles A, B, C, D, E. It's just the different styles of apartments depending on whether they're 1+1, 2+1, etc. to be able to choose what you wanted to be close to in terms of amenity, pools, etc. So just to give you an idea, starting prices are 44,900 for a studio apartment, 62 square metre one-bedroom apartments from just under 80,000, and two-bedroom apartments from 126. Now there are a number of, we didn't want to obviously confuse the issue on here with a number of options, but there are a number of choices you can make in different rendered blocks, which are slightly different prices. The important thing to remember here is that these are the launch prices, and as we'll come on to in a few extra slides, the off-plan prices are typically at least 30% lower than completion, and as they go through stages, the prices will rise by 5 and 10% at a time. And I'll show you an example of where the capital increase on one of the Maldives apartments will show you the increase that you'll get from time. For example, the 79,000 one-bedroom apartment there in Idil there's I think 5 remaining, and they're already at 120. So you can see that as the development sells, the prices and your capital increase rises quite swiftly. Interiors, to be honest, there's a number of pictures we could show you with this, but they're all customized choices. You can either pick from a furniture pack. We have an interior designer and also a customized furniture supplier that actually will work with the clients to choose the design that they wish in terms of color fabrics, curtains, everything else. So basically you can choose a standard or you can choose exactly what you want. And as part of our service with the developer, we also drive around and take you to those areas other than things like tiles and things the developer will do, but we will do the soft furnishings. So just a few styles you can select. Now, I mentioned that there's a number of renders for choice. Obviously, penthouses will have a roof garden option, the duplex styles, and also the garden apartments, which will have a garden. So on the roof terraces, obviously, you have a number of selections for jacuzzis, pergolas, roof gardens, roof fire or heating. So again, can be customized once you decide the choice. There's only one selection of villas here, and they are semi-detached, but a 3+1, 3-bedroom semi-detached, 180,000, and 120 square metres with 30 square metres of terrace and roof terrace. So very good price on the edge of the development. So you have the peace and quiet, but you also get the use of all the amenities and all the pools, because these are semi-detached without pool. That's a repeat of what we've seen. As you can see, just to point out the top left-hand side there, where the villas are on the edge of the development, so you are more secluded away from the central of the amenities, and and Laura says close to the largest pool. I mentioned the roof garden, especially on the villas. Obviously, you've got a sizable size, so you can actually spend, as you do in Cyprus, a great deal of time outside. But also you can add the fire pit in the centre there if you want to spend more time in the winter. But again, customised choices. We mentioned the beach promenade area. This is just some 3Ds of what the plans are. Being able to walk along and enjoy the cafes and bars, but also take in the scenery and the amazing sunsets we have here in North Cyprus. Now, with this development, you'll get a VIP membership card, which enables you to use all of the facilities at Esentepe Cliff, but also all of the facilities at their other developments, which are in Taplasu and in Famagusta's Kelly area. So you can get a complete choice of different spas and sports facilities and restaurants. So if you decide you want to take a trip somewhere else, you can use your VIP card at their other locations, all of which obviously will be supplied to you. And there's also going to be a transfer shuttle enabling you to get to those if you don't have a hire car. So there you go, VIP membership. There will be, although they're not clear at the moment, there will be discounts, etc., related to your VIP membership card. And obviously, if you're a family, that can make a significant difference during your stays. Couple of items here, mainly from the price perspective. This is one of their previous projects. The villa selection is all but sold. There's one last remaining, 274 square meters internal living space, which is a 4-bedroom of 260,000. It's a stunning, huge size villa and a great location, but it is the last remaining one. And on the right side, 2-bedroom garden apartments and penthouse apartments, but at really, really nice prices of 80,000 and 89,000. And basically that picture is 2 of the blocks overlooking the communal pool, but also you've got the beach on site as well. So we added those in because the pricing structure of those will see those considerably rising capital growth. And this is just a couple of pictures of the villa style. And they have a huge internal high ceiling area and amazing outdoor areas. This isn't actually the one that's for sale. It was the show house. So it's on the front line here. This one is on the side line with the sea views out to the west, the one that's remaining. Just from your VIP card point of view, there's 5 other resorts you can go to. Iskele Resort is one that has the full spa, gym, and all the other facilities you can go and use for a change of destination. And also some of these where the building permissions in this area do allow them to build high rise, whereas in Esentepe area it's only 2 floors. So that will be the difference in Farm Augusta Iskele area. But the main reason for showing these is that you can go and use the facilities with your card as a AFIC Esentepe Cliff client. Just a couple of examples to give you some payment options, because there are numerous ones, but starting with the lowest cost of 44,900, if you were to put, which is the standard, a 30% deposit down after you've paid a reservation of 1,000 or 2,000, they are offering 40 months interest-free payments on the balance, which equates to a 786 monthly payment. And with the current plan starting next year, although they've already started, its completion target is 2023. But as I say, if things sell quicker and the weathers are kind, they will probably finish earlier, but they wanted to give a fixed date to make sure they're not promising what they can't return. In terms of rental returns, if you use this area, a quick calculation based upon a conservative 24-week summer, which, as you will know, probably is longer than that here, a return of 8,800 on a basic studio apartment investment. So obviously you could use some of that to pay off your purchase once Key Ready is giving you the apartment. Mid-range 2-bedroom, which is probably the standard rental, currently under 80,000 with initial payment. 40 months balance would mean 1,398 monthly. You can also arrange to, if you prefer, to pay that quarterly. Similar completion time, but rental obviously is 14,000, significantly more. And this is generally projected on the lower side based on 24 weeks. But obviously you've got at least double that as an option. And then finally the villa, because the villa price is at 180 is so good, 40 months with 126 balance would mean 3,150 a month, but your starting income there is 25,000. So again, you could use some of your Key Ready period onwards rental to pay off the balance during that 40 months. So that's the development, which is Esentepe Cliff. Now, some of you may already understand and know a bit about North Cyprus, but what attracts people to North Cyprus? Well, apart from it's undiscovered to a certain extent, as steeped in history in terms of its harbours, mountain range and sceneries, particularly on the north coast. It has some amazing beaches which are isolated, which means you could be the only people on the beach. Some sandy, some stony, and also donkey sanctuary and wildlife, etc. Very, very unspoilt. Castles along the mountain range, which were obviously protection for historical battles in the past. But you can walk these, stand on the top of a mountain and walk between 30 kilometers between the 3 if you choose. Turtles is also very big, protected in North Cyprus, so you can visit the turtle sanctuary and release turtles to the sea twice a year. And also on occasion you can see them in the harbour, or if you're on a boat trip you can see them as well. Should you decide to sell or take a stage up and further down the line, we'll also help you resell your property as well by putting it on the market, obviously to give you an opportunity to move on. So North Cyprus, what is it that's so attractive? We are very safe here, the 5th safest country in the world in terms of crime, hardly exists at all. a wide variety of culture and history, picturesque sea and mountain landscapes from pretty much every property that you would purchase here, unless you would be very unlucky, but I guess you wouldn't choose it anyway if you didn't have the view you wanted. The people are very, very friendly and very, very helpful. Probably a key thing is 300 days of sunshine a year, and it's been approximately 30, 31 degrees here again today. Cooler at night now because we're heading to November, but obviously the weather's perfect. Very laid back, calm Mediterranean lifestyle. For us in the rat race in the past, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but when you do get used to it, you settle into it, and that's one of the great reasons to be here. Followed by the low cost of living, and I think I saw the exchange rate today was 10.77 to the pound. So from a living perspective, if you sell up and bring your funds from a property back home, then obviously you can live very well here, because you can also put the balance into the bank here in Turkish lira up to 18%. That has been as high as 24 in the past. So obviously makes it very interesting. We've mentioned the capital increase, generally 10 to 15% per annum, depending on location of your purchase, and a significant rental income, which Laura in the team here will help you manage either with the developer or on your own, including cleaning and laundry and all those sorts of things for maintenance. And a big thing that we are about 50% of the initial purchase in South Cyprus, and obviously if you were to compare with Spain, you can get particularly more for your money in North Cyprus than you can currently in Spain. So a good choice for a place to be. Just to back that up really, last week's presentation we were talking the Maldives, and for a 3-bedroom penthouse, a project launch off plan was sold at 220, is now selling for 324, and a 2-bedroom apartment that was listed off plan at 140 is now 194. So capital appreciation over 3 years, which the project, sorry, 2 years, which is a project pretty much completed now, will be completed by the end of the year, is up to 50% in terms of capital increase. So obviously you can see that particular developer has really caught the market. Now, what happens if you decide to purchase a property while you're here on one of our free inspection trips or on holiday? That can be a bit of an onerous situation for those who don't know, and that's where we use the hold hand process, because we've been here for 15 years, so we know the little idiosyncrasies that can happen here. So once you've made an offer and that's been accepted, generally a reservation deposit can be as low as 1,000, but up as high as 5,000. We will have already given you a meeting to discuss things with a lawyer. Hopefully, if you are okay with that lawyer, you would take on a power of attorney so they can represent you while you're back home, so you don't have to fly backwards and forwards and draft the paperwork. Assuming everything runs okay with that, they will sign that on your behalf and deal with all the contract tax and the land registry to register it to yourself. There is a permission to purchase for every non-citizen, which is basically a criminal check that you do online. That doesn't stop the process of you purchasing, because it can take up to 9 months for that to actually get through the system from you to here and then go through the paperwork trail. So it is something that's applicable, but it doesn't hold you back. If you make a payment plan, then obviously you continue payment plan as applicable in your contract. Your permission to purchase would be received during that 6 to 9 months, and then the lawyer would transfer the title into your name. Obviously, if the project is completed, they will be ready sooner than later. Additional costs, lawyers' fees generally up to £2,000 or just under. The only fee you have to pay with your purchase is 0.5% stamp duty initially. There is a VAT of 5% on every new business transaction, but that doesn't become due until the completion of the development, which in this case is 24 months plus on current plan. And then the title transfer right at the end of the whole process is 6%, but as a first-time buyer, you get a 50% reduction to 3% for a one-time purchase. Lastly, you would obviously need to connect the water and the electric, which they vary a little bit in terms of connection fee, something along the lines of £1,500. So obviously you have your connections to your property. And then monthly, your standard things as with any property. Council tax is ridiculously cheap, 1.5 TL per square metre. So typically 50, 60, 80 pounds maximum per year. Electricity and water, etc., is obviously generally depending on how much you use your aircon and things like this and rent it out. But you can get that covered by your guests. And then maintenance costs can be as little as nothing, or depending on how long you hold the property for, things like painting, etc. Some of the new build projects actually do absorb the first few years of those fees into your purchase. And what else do we also offer, just to make sure if you're purchasing, you don't have a headache if you're returning back to your country and work, etc. If you want to rent, we will have a rental background, so we will look after your property for you and keep you in touch with everything that's happening. And there will be a billing system, so basically your rentals will cover your billing, so you shouldn't even need to put additional monies in. And this includes everything from offering car and rentals, airport transfers, tourist excursions, and as we mentioned, furniture packages. And the last item on their residency permit, if you plan to come on a regular basis, to avoid the need to worry about your 30 days or 90 days access, we'll also assist you with a residency permit, which would mean that you wouldn't have to concern with that. And we just completed our own, and with a number of other clients as well, so it's well worth doing. I mentioned the inspection trips we offer. We generally offer them either in our own accommodation or with this developer or any other developer. Generally, we will, if you choose a particular property, we'll try and accommodate you in that location so you can experience it. We won't hold you just to that developer, but we'll show you everything along the coast. But obviously the first point would be the choice that you made initially. All that is free, apart from your flights, which obviously that's something you need to choose that fits your lifestyle and your holidays, etc. But airport transfers and accommodation, legal consultation is all included. Well, that comes to the end of me talking and our presentation for tonight. I would welcome to take any questions. If anybody's got any questions, I'll be pleased to answer some. Would anybody like to ask? Anybody got any questions there?